Hold on, go ahead.
Oh yeah, you missed that. You guys, everybody erase that from your memory. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Let's get this going. Let's make it a productive day. Let's get things done. Let's prepare for the weekend. Is it not hump day yet right now? No, that's Thursday.
Rebecca, it is. Hump
It
day is
is?
in the middle of the week. That's
Oh
Wednesday.
my God. Jesus Christ. Well, we're there. So happy hump day, everybody.
All right. Hey, way to crush it. Way to bring us out of the tunnel. Way to bring us out of the field. So let's go ahead and get cracking. Thank you on this beautiful Wednesday morning, which is officially hump day. So you guys, let's talk a little bit about your database. We're going to talk a little bit about the market, and then I want to leave you guys with some thoughts. I'm going to provoke some things in you guys today to make you move forward, because I've said this before, and I'll apologize to everybody on the screen today and in any subsequent calls that we've done in the past. If you are not walking away from these calls ready to take action, then I'm letting you down. Hey, I need someone to mute themselves. If you're not talking right now, just mute yourself, because I'm getting some background noise. So I want to apologize if you guys are not taking action from these calls and you guys are still unaware of what to do, then I'm letting you guys down. If you guys are in a position in your business where you just need some time to sit down, have a one-on-one, talk about your business, strategize, unpack some things that you're learning from coaching, then let's do it. I'll send you guys my Calendly link. You guys can schedule one-on-ones with me. We're also going to be hiring a new, head of agent development. They're going to help with coaching and one-on-one and the progression of your guys' careers. But if you feel like you are not leaving these sessions ready to take action, then we're doing something wrong. So I'm going to be sending out a type form, and a type form is going to have a series of questions that's going to answer, or you guys are going to answer. It's going to really tell us exactly what you guys need. Then moving forward, based on the needs of what you guys say, we might put you guys into different groups. In Zoom, I can do breakout rooms. So for example, like, hey, we're going to do 6 breakout rooms today, and we're going to practice the scripts on this particular specific topic. Say it's going after listings or whatever the case is. And then me and other leaders can kind of bounce around through the rooms, help you guys, coach you through, hear what's going on, hear what the nuances are, to make sure that that communication piece is really, really solid. Because I don't really give a shit how much you guys are learning. Let's be real. I care what you guys are learning, but I don't give a shit if you guys are learning copious amounts of information and you're not doing anything about it, right? You could have all this stuff stored in your mind, like, oh, this is all great, but you don't have a way to articulate and communicate these things effectively. Does it really even matter? You can learn everything there is to know about the RPA, but if you don't know how to go after a client and get that RPA, then it really doesn't even matter, right? So I want to make sure that we're getting the best of our time together, and I want to make sure that moving forward that we're really, really laser focused on what comes out of these groups. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you guys. I've been doing some reading this morning, as always. So here's my thoughts. Database day. Every month I want to schedule a database day, and that will be in lieu of a group coaching. So what a database day is going to be a day for us to pull up our database. Wherever you guys are keeping your people, whether it's in Real Scout, whether it's in Chime, whether it's in KV Core, or whether it's in Follow Up Boss. My question to each of you, and I don't care if you've been in this game for 10 years or if you guys have been in this game for 2 months, who can we connect with today, right? And I want you guys to answer that question. Your day will fly by the time you guys know it's going to be 5 p.m. today, right? How many of us have ever had that happen? Like, oh my God, where did the day go, right? How many of us have gone through the day and look back and be like, damn, what did I actually accomplish, right? There should never be a day where you look back at your day like, fuck, like, what did I actually accomplish today? So we need to get super, super intentional and super focused every single day. I need you guys to ask yourself every single day that you guys wake up, who do I need to connect with today? Who is that one person, the 3 people, the 5 people that I need to call today? What is happening in the market right now in your local market that's worth a phone call, an email, or a video, right? What's happening in your local market? If you just heard about a sale, if you just heard about a record list over sales price, or excuse me, sales price over list price. If you just heard something and you know, Tori, mute yourself. And you know a client that is searching in that market, then why don't you send them a video message, right? Hey, Kaleem, in my subject, and we're going to talk about your email subjects in a second. 123 Main Street just viewed, ... And then send them an email about, hey, you guys, 123 Main Street just went pending. However, I just found 125 Main Street just hit the market 3 days ago. Similar square footage. Would love to take you on a tour of this property. I'm setting up tours for Saturday and Sunday. Which day works best for you to go see this property, right? I'm not sending an email out and hoping somebody's going to respond. I'm a call to action, right? If you could, which day would you choose? So what is happening in the market right now that is worthy of a phone call, email, text message, or a video, right? And you guys have to think about these things. There's tons of things going on in the market. You have to be aware, you have to be astute, you have to do your research, you have to read the market updates channel in Slack to understand what is going on in your local market as well as what's going on in your national market. Who needs to hear from you? There's tons of people in your database right now that need to hear from you. Listen, you guys are important, you guys are valuable, you guys need to be updating consumers on a daily basis. What we find is dependent on what we look for, right? We need to be looking for these opportunities every single day. I know that you guys have a sphere of influence. If you're newer, I know that's building. But if you guys have been in this game, there's people right now that are in your database that have searched for homes or have gone online in the last 72 hours and looked at homes. I promise you, if you pull up your Chime, your KV Core, your Real Scout, your Follow-Up Boss, I promise you, there's going to be someone in your database that has looked at a home in the last 72 hours. When we think about that, there's a direct reason to call them because they're searching, they're looking. They might say, oh, we're going to take some time off before the new year. Well, then why are you on Zillow? Why are you on realtor.com? There's something there. So who needs to hear from you today? Who is somebody that you can add value to their life? How will you tap into your extraordinary today? And I wanted to ask you that, right? There's one thing to come to coaching, fill up your cup and get ready for the day. But how are you going to tap into your extraordinary? You need to be asking yourself these questions, you guys. How are you going to tap into your extraordinary? If I could book one appointment today, how can that potentially change my life, change their life? One appointment, you guys. That's it. If I was able to book one showing for the weekend, what's that going to be able to do to my career? One, that's it. So I want to share some thoughts with you, then I'm going to kind of open up the dialogue and hear from you guys and we'll have a market conversation. So how many of us right now, and I want to see your reactions on the screen by using the reaction button or just a raise of the hand. How many people feel that their video game right now is at a 10? Please give me a raise of a hand if your video game is at a 10 on social. Please give me a raise of hand or give me a reaction. Okay, I don't see anybody on a 10. Okay, how many people would rank their video game right now on a scale from 1 to 5? How many people would rank their skills on video right now, 1 to 5? Okay, Aaliyah, Sylvia, thank you. Kim Liu, all right, who is that? Michael Swanson, 1 to 5. Christine Miller, 1 to 5. Kathy Daniel, that was a 1 to 5. Okay, cool. So Andy, that's a 1 to 5. I appreciate you guys' participation. Appreciate you. Jim Salas, that's a hand wave. Clarence, his hand's up. December. Let's talk about December for a quick second. December, I want to give you a round of applause. Let's give December a round of applause. She don't like doing video, but what December is choosing to do is December is doing each day in December something about her, right? Things that she likes to do, things about her, like letting people into her world. And I think that it's really, really creative, December. And I promise you, by January 1, you're going to have so much more confidence and so much more comfortability because right now you're in the thick of your uncomfortability. So appreciate you. A lot of 1 to 5s. I'm going to share something with you guys that I read this morning that I think is powerful. According to Cisco, we all know the company Cisco, by 2022, video will comprise 82% of all consumer internet traffic. Right? So let me say that one more time, you guys. By 2022, video will comprise of 82% of all consumer internet traffic. So video consumption continues to accelerate, but you have to ask yourself the question, is your content creation accelerating at the pace of which consumers are receiving and viewing information? Let's do another survey. By a show of hands, how many of you have watched one video at least today? Please show of hands or give me a reaction down below. Right? I have. Some of us sitting in traffic, taking a shit, whatever we're doing in the morning, we've watched at least one video. So once again, we're consuming. And you have to ask yourself, well, how much am I actually creating, right? 82% of consumer traffic will be via video. So you have to ask yourself, like, what am I doing? What am I not doing? If you're in this real estate game right now and you've never created a video, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. Listen, you guys, I wasn't always on Instagram. 2.5 years ago, I didn't even have an Instagram. And I had to get comfortable with it over time. But you guys, that's just the way the market is now. The way it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, people said, oh, that video thing, it's never going to work. Changed the game. So you guys have to understand where we are at in society, how consumers are receiving information, or viewing information, and making sure that we're always adjusting and always adjusting. Let's talk a little bit about some market stats. So the National Association of Real Estate states that in 2021, we're paced to close out 6.34 million in sales, or home sales. Sorry, I'm getting some feedback. Jesse.
Right. So why?
I think we're having an argument at home. All right, guys. If you guys are not speaking on the call, imperative that you keep yourself on mute. So let me restate this. In 2021, the year that we're in right now, we are paced to close out 6.34 million home sales. That's an increase of 26.8% year over year. We thought last year was a really great year. This year has been even better. So we, as agents, we have to look at what can we do to really take control of our business. We know the demand is there. We know the demand is high. We know that demand is 25% higher than it was the year before. And I don't see any signs of the market slowing down. We'll have that conversation in a moment. But a couple things to you guys to really think about as we move forward is, first things first, take control of your business. Mindset of productivity. Visibility trumps ability. The more visible that you are, the more opportunities that you are going to have. You guys, I created a reel last week for my mom when we were on vacation. I literally it was just like a summary of everything that we did and like a quick little video with some cool music. That got like 5,100 views, right? And why? Because of the music, because of the algorithm, because I'm simply creating video. So you guys need to know, like, hey, like, I just need to be more visible. The more visible you are, then the more opportunities you're going to get. If I search Angel right now, and she has no, if I'm a consumer, I search Angel, she has no video, I have no way of looking her up, but then I find Arlene or December, and they have some dope videos. I get to see how they communicate, I get to see their face, maybe I saw their dogs and the kids running around the background, like, that's somebody I would want to actually work with. This Angel person sounds really nice, but I don't know how she looks, I don't know how she sounds, I don't know anything about her. So I'm probably going to go with the person that I've actually seen, right? So you guys have to take control of your business, have a mindset of productivity, and understand that your visibility trumps ability. The more visible you are, the more opportunities that you guys are going to gain. I read this and I thought it was really powerful. You can either wait for the business, you can pay for it, or you can make it happen. It's really that simple, you guys. You guys can go out there every single day and find somebody that wants to talk to you about buying or selling real estate, but you have to create those opportunities for yourself. The quickest way to underperform is to get romantic about how you got here. The consumer's minds are always changing. The market is always changing. Patterns are always changing. Market strategy or marketing strategies are always changing. So you have to be able to be like this and to be able to bob and weave throughout this business. The approach that you have that worked for you 5 years ago, 5 months ago, might be different. That's why large companies constantly change their marketing campaigns, because the seas are always changing, the market is always changing, and consumer demand is always changing. So you always have to stay consistent with being different, changing up the approach, finding new ways, being innovative, being creative, right? What's the slogan? When you see all these commercials online that are hooking you with Bath and Body Works because they're doing that candle sale. How many of you bought candles the other day? Right? It's like they're constantly changing things because seasonality, because of consumer behavior, because of consumer demand. You have to think of yourself in the same exact way. Email marketing. How many of you have a strong email campaign right now? Because email is still working. Email is still working, and so is MailChimp. MailChimp is a great way for you to send out a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly newsletter. So, couple things that you guys could be doing for your emails is A, take a list of everybody that is in your database right now that is on Real Scout, that is on Follow Up Boss, that is in Chime, or that is in KV Core. Any one of those platforms allows you to see when those people last viewed homes. That's where you guys should spend a lot of your time. You should be looking at that, and you should put that in the subject line. 123 Main Street, 123 Main Street, 125 Main Street, recently viewed, recently sold. Have you seen 123 Main Street? You won't believe this, right? In a tagline on the subject line. Well, what does that mean? Well, they're going to open it up, and then you tell them a little bit about the market. Hey guys, you won't believe this. There was a house in your market in Antioch that hit the market at 580,000 that actually just sold for 680,000. It was one of the highest listed sales price in that entire area over the last year. Have you ever thought about selling your home? Like, there's so many thoughts around this. I want to sell, but I'm worried I can't find another home, right? There's a lot of sellers out there that might be thinking about selling, and they're scared that they won't be able to find another home. So it's like putting these things in the subject line is what it's going to do, is it's just going to get people to open the subject line or open the email and have some dialogue with you. All you're looking at is to start a dialogue with the consumer. Now, based on your tenacity, your sales skills, your follow-up skills, the things that you've learned in group coaching, you're going to be able to truly have a conversation once you hook them. But you got to have some type of hook. But if you're not creating emails, if you're not reaching out, if you're not looking at the database and the people that recently viewed homes, then you're not going to have enough at bats. Contact support. You guys got to have more contacts in order to get in front of people. Powerful video. I think this is something that we are going to talk about and continue talking about. Each of you came into this business because you felt like this is something that you truly were passionate about. You want to find people homes. You want to help them create generational wealth. You want to give them financial freedom. You want to provide this dream that there was always thought of, right? The great emancipator of the dream. That's why you guys got in this business. Well, you can't do that silently. You can't. If it's something that you truly believe in, now you have this license that allows you to provide these opportunities for consumers, then why are you laying back, not doing these things, right? Why are you sitting back in the cuts, not doing the things that you know are powerful in today's market? Look around. There's tons of agents out there that are creating video. Jack what they're doing. I'm not saying say it word for word, but be like, all right, well, let me try something like that. Seems to be working for that agent, right? But if you lay back and you don't do anything, then you're never going to move forward in this business. So you have to have a powerful message and a powerful video library, things that you could send out, things that are going to get the attention of people, things that are consistent, and it gives you visibility in the market. These are things and topics that I thought about this morning that I want to share with you guys because I feel it's important. There's things that we need to be doing to just truly elevate our game, to step it up, to do things in a different way. And these things are really simple. Your email campaigns and your video campaigns. Let's just start there, right? I promise you, if you start there, you will see a different direction in your business. So wanted to share my thoughts with you. I wanted to hear feedback from you guys. Any thoughts, insight, discussion points that you guys want to share based on anything that I just said?
I actually think that the Instagram Reels are huge because it allows people that don't necessarily follow you to allow them to view your content as well.
Totally,
Which is a
totally.
way bigger reach.
Absolutely. Because I don't have 5,100 followers, but based on the reel, then that algorithm is seeing my content. So good point. Who else has some feedback, thoughts, or insight that they want to share right now?
Hey, Elias, this is Kim.
Yo, Kim, what up?
Hey, I agree with you 100% on video. And this year I started a YouTube channel. So I'm going to be consistent in 2022. I already have some things I'm lining up. I'm doing a series. And also something that I want to point out.
Are you on YouTube right now?
Yes, I am.
What is it? So
Just Kim Lou.
All right, so let me pull it up really quick, but go on with your thoughts.
So at first I was like, okay, I have to do video. I know it's a big deal. I have to get on video. It took me like 10 years to finally say, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So then with the YouTube thing, I'm like, I'm going to do videos. And another thing, I want to step up my game. All of my listings, I do a professional video. So I do that. And then I have a series, Day in the Life of a Real Estate Agent, about cooking. I have community. So there's like different things that I do. But there's also something that is really helpful because TikTok started being like the big deal. So I filmed this big video and I edit in little sections. So I put a little section on my TikTok. Now there's Reel. So if you guys start a video, just do it and then edit little pieces. So you're not filming like 100 videos. That's kind of a tidbit. But the series that I'm doing is with my friend Dana. I'm sure you know her. She doesn't like video, but she's really good at video. So I said, hey, let's do a series about what $1 million gets you in each city. I think it'll be fun. So
Wow.
So we're going to travel, and we travel a lot outside of California for Aria. So I said, why don't we just like make it a point to visit like every single city we can. Every time we go, we have to shoot a video, and we're going to meet this week and kind of brainstorm on how we want to have it like laid out. If we're going to have it professionally filmed, if it's going to be just silly, you know, like plan it all out. And
Wow.
I'm excited.
So
So
is that just like Bay Area and surrounding cities?
No, it's going to be everywhere. So everywhere we go, because we travel, like for instance, we went to like Boston. We want to be known as like the girls that, oh, that's the one that films, you know, what gets you $1 million. So we're just really thinking outside the box. So we're doing a quick launch TikTok about this concept. And so once we do the TikTok, we'll have a video kind of already filmed. But I think our first video is going to be local. It's going to be like in Livermore, somewhere in East Bay.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the rougher areas, you know?
Yeah, I really, really love this idea because you could take Sacramento, you could take Solano County, you could take Napa, you could take, say, San Joaquin, Contra Costa, and you can go to these communities and show people what $1 million will get them. And God, this is a really, really good idea. I love it, Kim. And so if you guys haven't, make sure to subscribe to Kim's channel. I just subscribed to it. That way you guys can keep an update on what she's doing. But literally, you guys, it's because here's the thing about this idea. You know what's going to cost you? Little to no money to do something like that, right? You can have somebody just record you. You can do it from your phone, and then you can go back and edit it. And we're going to have a full-time editor on the team that will help you with those things. But you guys, that is such an inexpensive thing to do, right? Or say you want, hey, maybe you're focused on first-time home buyers. Hey guys, the average home sales price in the Bay Area in this certain area, these 3 counties, is X amount. I'm going to do a series and show you what $650,000 will get you in these different communities. Follow my journey, right? Cool. Like now I know like what is possible. Here's the thing. Pamela Spivey and Mike Spivey and Terry put me on game in River Islands. I had no idea River Islands even existed, and I live 17 minutes away. No idea. right, Pamela? Thank you, right? Because I'm happy pulling up and all the lights are on. It says River Islands and everyone's like, hey, neighbor. Like, I fucking love it, right? She put me on game. And so they're going heavy on the content for River Islands, because you know what's happening in River Islands? It's a planned development of 15,000 homes. You know how many homes they have now? 2,000. And it seems like a lot. You know how many houses they have to get a supermarket? 5,000, right? And so it is crazy to think about what's going on, the growth, the opportunities. And Kim, man, I love it. Pamela, thank you for putting me on. And she's doing this whole River Island segment. So let's continue this conversation, you guys. What thoughts, what insight? Let me hear from you guys. Don't be shy. Go ahead and take yourself off of mute and spit some fire.
I want to say two things. The River Islands thing, we started with the community. I mean, we started and we just kind of had that vision and just stuck with it on the community. And we pretty much nailed it. And we're even going to go harder. But even though we literally don't do the listings in the area, more so picking up buyers, we're known as the community people, and we love it because everybody who does listings, they didn't even pay attention to how to give back to the community. And we just kind of stuck right up under there and just, really stayed strong on community.
I love it. They threw a party at Halloween. And it was a smash, like a block party. It was a smash. She's been telling me about River Islands for over a year. Over a year, she's been telling me about River Islands.
And Michael got to interview the chief of police. They came to us and said, hey, we see you're the community people and we need to get this information out for the chief of police that's coming here. Can you guys interview them? And that really was touching, saying that we were the community leaders, and that's why they came to us. I thought that was like, we nailed it,
And it's all about their visibility, right? The visibility creates your opportunities. Wherever you are, I don't care what market you are in, just start turning this around. Just start turning it around, press record. Something good will come out of it, I promise. You're gonna have a lot of retakes and you're gonna overanalyze yourself, but I promise you something good will come out of it. Let's hear from somebody else.
I'm sorry, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
This is for our video that we just posted yesterday, the seller testimonial video. That client was like 15 years. We've had her for 15 years. I mean, we've known her. I sold a few houses, blah, blah, blah. So I was wondering if we can have like a database group, because if you're new in the business, you really probably don't know what to do to keep that connection with your clients once you close them, because everybody's closing deals, but what are they doing to make sure that 5, 10, 15 years down the line, that will be you will be the person of choice when they're thinking of buying or selling. And that's like for us as a team, I think that would be a nice little thing to add.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So we just talked about it earlier, and I'm going to work with our new sales leader and Cynthia about doing database day, right? Every month we do a database day. We can do it virtually. We can come into the offices and we choose different campaigns, whether it's follow-up, whether it's putting people on drip systems, whether it's putting people on, like your anniversaries, putting them in the system. So you're always constantly in contact. So really, really great thoughts. Who else, you guys? Who else has some thoughts, some ideas that they want to share? Go ahead, Michael Swanson.
I was listening to a podcast recently, Real Estate Uncensored, and it was an episode strictly about video, and they were also saying how you can, a 2 to 3 minute video can get you so many touches if you post it on IGTV, if you put it on YouTube, if you put it on Facebook, if you put it on, LinkedIn. So, when we do these videos, let's make sure that we're maximizing them and putting them all across the internet so that, everyone can, we're getting so many touches out of a 1, 2, or 3 minute video.
That's right. Michael, you create quite a bit of video, right?
I do. I need to do more, but I know you gave me an idea about, since I'm out here in Solano County, about doing a video, about the ferry and the benefits of the ferry and going to the city. So I plan on shooting that in the next couple of weeks and getting that edited out there.
And now you have a good amount of followers. You got your link tree set up. Okay, good, man. Love this. Love this. Who else has some thoughts and insights, things they want to talk about? Okay, if nothing else, cool. Let's shift the conversation. Let's talk a little bit about the market. I want to hear what you guys are experiencing, what you guys are seeing. If you guys are out showing homes in a particular community, if you have a case study that you want to talk about, let's hear about the market, what you guys are seeing. I want to have a conversation about this because your experiences are going to help your brothers and sisters on this call when they're out showing homes in those particular communities. So who has a case study, who has something they want to talk about the market, an offer they wrote, houses they saw, multiple offers, who has something they want to share?
I have one.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Yesterday, yesterday I was really intent on creating appointments. So I created 4 appointments yesterday. And one of them, she introduced me to her lender. And the people have to do some credit cleanup real quick. It won't take them very long. But they went out and saw an open house on Sunday that they fell in love with. 7 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, everything that they could possibly ever want, but they're not ready to buy yet. So I said, what if we write an offer and we just ask for a longer escrow? Because the lender was saying it could take 60 days to clean up their credit. And the lender said, oh, well, nobody takes a longer escrow now. So I called the listing agent and explained the situation, explained who my clients were, explained they had 60% down. So the listing agent was all over that. And we'll find out today. We're going to actually write an offer with a 60-day escrow. And we'll find out today if that works. But sometimes just like, I know everybody wants 21-day escrows and all that, but if you have the right terms, ask for that longer escrow. You might be surprised. So it looks like I'm 80% sure that these people are going to be able to get this house today. Just by asking for what we want. Just ask for what you want. All they can do is say no. And aside from that, you might just get it.
Totally. I love it. I absolutely love that. Jordan, you had some insight. You typed something in the chat there. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
I did. So I'm working with my first buyer clients right now. They are a disabled Vietnam War veteran and his wife, who is a pastor. They started looking before the pandemic, and my biggest struggle with them has just been gently educating them on how much the market has changed since they first started looking. They kind of had this vision that we're going to spend X amount of dollars and that's going to get us a mansion in Sacramento and we're going to live in the Fab 40s and it's going to be great. And just trying to shift their perspective from, I understand that that's what you thought that amount of money would bring you prior to the pandemic, but the way the California market works and the way that things have changed since the pandemic started, that's not a realistic expectation anymore. And they're not combative about it or anything. It's just been a really interesting journey for me to not just be their real estate agent who's showing them houses and et cetera, but who is actually educating them on real estate facets and the market at large.
Yeah, I love this. Gently educate, right? Because what do consumers think? A lot of times that they're right and they have all the answers. Well, you guys are the professionals. You guys are seeing the other side of it that they don't really see. And so sometimes it just takes a lot of showing and educating for them to finally say, Jordan, we're going to put everything in your hands. We trust you. But sometimes it takes a little while to get there. Let's hear from PK. PK, what are some things that you're seeing? I know that you're busy, you're showing homes, you're working with multiple clients. What are some nuances that you're seeing right now in the market?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, sunshine.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like the market is changing drastically. Over the past 2 weeks, I have showed probably 15 to 20 homes in Oakland. And out of 15 to 20 homes, almost 1/3 of them had a deadline for offers and none of them are pending yet. I'm getting a lot of callbacks from those listing agents. Sorry, I'm going to turn on the lights. And they're asking me if my client is still interested. So I don't know, something is happening. And a lot of these homes, especially in Oakland, are staying way longer than I anticipated. There's this one property that you won't believe it. The amount of emails back and forth that I'm getting from this listing agent, desperately asking me to write any offer. And I'm just I don't know, I'm just not used to this. And she was like, you can put any contingencies you want. We don't care about that. And I'm like, I've never written a contingent offer. Isn't that crazy? Since I started, everything has been non-contingent.
I've been like fighting to get a phone call answered from the listing agent. So I don't know. I feel like this next 2 weeks before end of the year, we might be able to get a lot of these buyers into contract. That's like the sense I'm getting.
I love it. I love it. So in this case, it's working for you, or it's working for your buyer. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what is the price point that you're looking at?
Price points, I have the hardest price point, in my opinion, right now is anything between 125 is really difficult. That is the price point that I'm still struggling to find. Like, those are the ones that are still like people are fighting for. The 799 to to 1 million is the mark that I'm finding. It's sitting on the market, especially 2 bedrooms. If it's a 3-1, like anything that is not a 3-2 in a desirable neighborhood is sitting on the market pretty much.
So I love that we're saying this, because earlier when we started the call, I said, who do I need to connect with today? Who needs to hear from me? Who is somebody that I need to call and give them an update? What is something that is happening in the market around me that I could call them with an update? Even if it's someone said, you know what, we're going to wait. Hey, PK, it's Elias. I know you said you want to wait till February, but I have some really, really good news for you. And I want to share this with you, whatever you want to do with it. Just want to let you know that what I've seen in the last couple of weeks is that houses have been sitting for 16, 17, even 20 days plus. What happens if it sits for 20 days plus? It means that you as a buyer have an advantage, because now we're working at a level where we can compete and we can negotiate. Knowing that information, I think we should go out and see some homes this weekend. That's somebody that needs a call from you. You guys all have somebody that you can simply call. If you don't know what to say, find some information, do some research, hear what PK just said. Okay, 1 million to 1.25. Okay, but the 799. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to do a search in my area and I'm going to look at homes, and now I'm going to pull my own data and be like, there's a conversation piece right there. There's a conversation piece right there. So I'm happy for you, PK, because this means good news to your buyers.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, and it means a reason for you to call. Good stuff. Kim Lou, let's hear a Solano County update from you. Kim Lou going once.
Hey, sorry. I'm actually seeing the opposite, because Solano County price point is much lower. So I have a lot of first-time home buyers. I have like 7 buyers I'm working with right now. I'm literally dying. And they're all like $450,000 to $500,000. And that's like the starting price point. So they can't remove contingencies. I mean, they can barely get their 3% or 5% deposit. So it's harder. I just have to do a lot of educating them and telling them the market that was like 3 months ago, it's not the market now. It's still hot. So I guess it depends on where you're at. I mean, I also show in the East Bay, like Concord, and like Walnut Creek and all those areas. It's still like super competitive. So I don't know. I don't really work like the Oakland area, but I feel like the market is still really hot. I mean, the offer that I recently just wrote, it was no contingencies and a 15-day close. I mean, I was only up against like 3 buyers, but the one that I'm writing tonight, it's a trust, and there's like 4 offers that's going to be on the table so far. So I feel like depending on where you're at, you're just going to have to educate your buyer and find out what the price point and what has sold the comps before, make an offer.
I think this, this takes us back to early pandemic days. It's like, all right, so where do you want to move? Well, I want to move to Oakland or San Leandro, but then clients ended up in Brentwood, right? So it's the same thing, right? It's like, well, tell me where you want to live. Okay. What's important to you? Have you ever thought about Sassoon? Have you ever thought about Fairfield? If I could show you what $800,000 gets you in Fairfield, would you be open to at least the drive, right? Because now they're able to, to take a 30-minute drive and have, 1,000 square foot more of a home. So many people have done that this last year. Hence why Kim's market is blowing up, right? And so there's some opportunities for you guys and some great conversations to open people's minds, just like taking a client out that doesn't want new development, but in the tour, you throw a new development and they're like, oh my God, I love this. And I could pick everything. I could design the backyard. I could design the finishes, right? And so good stuff, Kim. Anything else on that?
Actually,
I just want to say something that is constant regarding any market, because I've been doing this for 17 years. So I would say about 90% of my business is all past clients and referrals, is to have a good communication with the listing agent. That's like my biggest thing. I always call the agent. I'm like hounding them. I'm nice to them, you know, because if you're not having that communication, they don't want to work with an asshole. And they're going to say, okay, well, they've never even called me. They submit this great offer. I mean, I've had offers where I never even got a phone call. They just sent me an email. And I said, you know, I don't want to work with them. So regardless of where you guys are at, I'm sure some of you know, but always make sure you have a good communication, regardless of any market.
Yep. I would send the listing agent a video too. Carmen does this, and Carmen's like, hey, I don't care what it takes, but I want to put my face to the name. I want to let you know that I'll walk the dogs. I'll do whatever it needs to take, right? Like, let's get this deal together. And so love that. Kaleem, you got some insight, brother. Go ahead and shoot.
Piggybacking off the new housing, actually in my general farm area, there's been 2 very large new housing projects that's been going on. Kim, I don't know if you're familiar with the Rodriguez Fairfield area in Cordelia. There's been one that's been built off of Red Top Road, a very big housing project. And then Gold Hill 3, right up the street from my house, is actually in works right now. So that's going to be a lot of new listings for next year.
Yeah, my son actually goes to Rodriguez.
I graduated from there.
Nice.
Love this. I love this. So, you know, thinking about this, like, let me ask just a quick question. How many of you guys spend, I don't know, let's say an hour to 2 hours a week reading about the market in the Slack channel, market updates? You guys, this is a way for you to sound so intelligent about what's happening in the market. I promise you, if you look here and you just look at some of the most recent articles and the recent headlines in here, I just ordered this. I paid $199 for this, but it's understand the key trends that will shape real estate in 2022. So you have number 1, the accelerating transformation. The industry embarks on a new era. Let's go to a couple other of these. The real estate finance revolution, the real estate reshuffling, how pandemic impacted real estate consumer migration and habits. You guys, I spent $199 on this. This is in Slack. You guys can use my book once I get it, but if you're looking at finding out what's happening in the market, you guys read, right? Get really, really, you know, clear on what's happening locally as well as nationally. So when you're sitting down with a consumer, you guys are spitting some straight fire. It's not just, oh, interest rates are low, inventory is low. We should probably go out, like, create that sense of urgency and let them know that, God, like, man, Michael Swanson always delivers with his value. Always. Nicole Penland, every time I have a conversation with her, it's like getting a update on the news. She always has information about the market and what's going on. You have to understand the trends so you can speak intelligently about what's going on. And so consumers understand that, man, Jonah is an expert of real estate. Every time I speak to December, she spits fire. Every time I speak to Aaliyah, she understands what's going on in the market and how these things are going to dictate what I'm going to write an offer at or what I should enter the market at. Roxanne Adams, honey, let's hear from you. What's going on? What are you seeing? You're super busy. You're super active. What are you seeing and some patterns that you're seeing?
Hi.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I haven't been out on the market too much with buyers. I've only been working on my listings, but we have 4 listings coming on the market. And yeah, good stuff. We're doing some renovations. I'm helping manage some projects for getting these properties together. And I've just been advising the seller that, you know, I feel like it's worth putting some money into these homes. A lot of these were fixers, not fixers, cosmetic fixers. So I feel very strongly that we shouldn't just throw a house on the market as is. So I'm getting a lot of good feedback from the sellers, being very open to doing some new flooring, some fresh paint, just some of the basics, because I just feel like right now the market, again, it's where you're at, of course, but I feel like buyers are a little picky. You know, no one just wants some trash. So you can't just put it on the market however it is and want the highest price possible. So I'm just happy to know that the sellers are open and they're listening and they're doing these renovations, and we'll get some nice looking properties on the market. So we're not going to sit around for weeks and weeks.
So if there were 3 things that you walked into a cosmetic fixer that you would advise your clients to fix, do, enhance, what would those things be?
Oh, 100% flooring, paint, and those cabinets. If we can get those, sand it down, paint it, some new knobs, freshen up that kitchen, those 3 things right there alone do the trick. So actually, those are the 3 things I'm doing on 2 different properties right now. And literally, I mean, they just freshen it up. They make it look so much better. And I just feel strongly that you shouldn't just throw any house on the market and just hope to get what you want to get for it. If you just put that little bit of money, and I have, you know, the painter that paints for a really good price and he does detailed work, found a great place here in Richmond at Tradeway Carpet for good price on flooring or carpet. So just try to line up some contractors I could depend on that were reasonably priced so we could do this within reason.
And you guys, and I love that we're having this conversation, because if you want to get more listings, you should be able to walk into a house and do a full assessment, right? If someone says, all right, well, our house is 1,500 square feet, how much would it cost to do laminate floors throughout? You should have an idea of what that would roughly cost. Well, we want to do granite countertops, or we want to do new cabinets. Well, based on my experience, this is what I would, this is what it could potentially cost, but let's get a meeting with the contractor, have them come out and do a walkthrough. You need to be able to go through and walk through, like, okay, it's 1,500 square feet, internal, external paint's going to cost about X amount. That way, when you leave that appointment, like, damn, Roxanne knows her shit. Like, I feel like she's going to project management, right? Getting a listing isn't just taking a listing, putting it on the MLS, crossing your fingers, hoping you get multiple offers. It's about managing the project through and through. So Roxanne, love it.
Yeah.
Congrats on the 4 listings.
Thank you. Thank you. That's true, Elias,
amazing.
too. On that managing part, that's a big part. That's the first thing they ask you to. The seller says, who's going to take care of this? Like, who's going to watch over it? Who's going to make sure it all happens? That's really big. So to make them comfortable and confident that you're full service and that you're going to book them, you're going to stay within time frames at your best. Can't promise anything, but at your best, that makes them feel so at ease. If they just know they're just making the payment on it, they feel so much better to spend the money.
That's right. That's right. And that's why you guys going in with a marketing timeline. You guys have your dates. You understand like what's happening. You're keeping them up to date. Project management is a huge part of getting listed. So Roxanne, I appreciate you chiming in. PK, what's up?
I was just going to say back to my earlier comment about Oakland and how I think it's shifting. I think back to Roxanne's kind of like analogy of like sellers putting shit on the market and expecting it to fly off the shelves just because it's the seller's market. I'm seeing a lot of that happening, and it's a lack of, I think I put it on the listing agent 100% for not educating their sellers. There was a house I walked into, a beautiful, gorgeous single family in a really nice neighborhood in Oakland. They are both out of state, both the seller and the listing agent. The amount of like the painters had painted over the wall and all the paint had dripped all over the floors. So everything had to be replaced. So I called the listing agent and I said, do you guys know what they've done? Like, who is managing this project? And nobody is. So I'm actually looking for a lot of those properties that need simple adjustments because they're not going to sell as high or it's not going to be as competitive. And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If the neighborhood is right, if the house is right, it's just not being managed properly. Like, that's something that at least my buyer is okay with handling. And I'm seeing a lot of it in the market right now. It sucks that listing agents are just not, either they're being lazy or they're just not being truthful to their clients, or they just don't know.
But they're also, what they're being is they're being cocky. Like, oh, 2020, we could sell anything and it would go, 50, 60, 100, $200,000 over asking. They got cocky, right? But now it's like, now we have to really, really look at the trends of behaviors. Like if you look at right now, well, what is the biggest trends in paint, right? Like what were the trends, the color, the patterns that were the highest selling patterns in 2020 and 2021, right? What were the color schemes of the kitchen? Was it gold knobs? Was it matte black knobs? Like being able to understand what consumers are looking for as soon as they walk in a home and what has been selling, like those are things that you guys need to know. And the only way that you'll do that is by when you go on tours and when you look and you see these houses that are just flying off the market, you walk in and be like, God, this is beautiful. Call that listing agent. Who'd you use? Where'd you get the paint? Who did the cabinets? Call those cabinet people. Call those paint people. Have those people in your back pocket. So when you go on an appointment, like, hey guys, I know what it would take to get this place to look like a showroom and get it really, really eye-popping for the consumers. This is what I would recommend. You guys do your research.
Elias.
Yo.
I feel so much. PK just made me feel so much better because I was even thinking, I hope I'm telling these people the right thing, but I feel like I am. We shouldn't put garbage on the market. And now PK just made me feel so much better.
Listen, if you're listing a house and you're not doing basic cosmetics, updating, doing some landscaping, and making sure you stage the shit out of that house, you are letting your seller down, and you are not making a good name for yourself, right?
We need to remember our biggest competition, so to speak, is HGTV, because everybody's comparing to that.
Totally. So you guys, this has been a great conversation. Let's come full circle. I want to go around the room. I want to hear from a couple people, key takeaways from today's session. Let's go over to Arlene. Arlene, what were some of your takeaways from today's time together? Oh, she got excited. She's like, yes. Go ahead, Arlene.
I just want to have to agree with everyone about staging the homes, because I'm in the Tri-Valley market and I'm seeing homes that are being put on the market and they're not doing anything, and I'm just sitting there. And I've seen a home in my own neighborhood, god damn it, that went for 125 over asking in Livermore, and it is cute and gorgeous. So I think staging and prepping is one of the most important things that we need to remember as a realtor.
Good. I love this. Let's hear from a couple other people. Let's go over to Zyra. Zyra, key takeaways from today's session.
Hello. Let me get out of here so I don't make too much background noise. So I learned a lot. I always love listening to Roxanne talk because for some reason she just narrows it down to those tips where they just hit, and it's easy to remember. But I'm trying to figure out like what would be the best way to keep track of people you meet. So like painters and granite
Zyra?
people, and yes.
You put them in your database, honey. You keep them in your cell phone for sure, because that's always in the palm of your hand, right?
Yeah.
And then in category painter or category floor store. That's how my phone is all set up. And so then I just go, if I forget their name, I just type in my contact like flooring, and then all my people that I've saved underneath floor store or flooring, they all pop up.
Okay.
And so Zyra, you can also make yourself a Trello board, which is free, or just simply do a Google Doc that states all of the vendors that you work with, where you have a couple. Like I have 3 contractors right now that I can call that I know do different jobs in different ways and different capacities. So you just start to build your list up, whether that's you keep them in KV Core, you categorize them in your phone, or just do it old school and create a database. I mean, a spreadsheet. It's really simple.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And one more thing. So I ran across like this little issue, and I don't, well, it's not really my issue, but so I went to go show a home for someone from another brokerage, and the buyers actually already, so pretty much her friend is a broker, but he's out in Livermore, and she wants to purchase out here in Solano County. But she's having people show her homes out here, knowing that she's going to write an offer with her friend. So how do you go about that?
Wait, she's showing homes with 2 different agents, or walk me through that one more time.
Yeah, so pretty much, well, nobody knew until me being the person I am, and I'm like asking questions, so I ended up finding out that pretty much she's asking to be shown homes out here, but her agent is
her friend, he's a broker out in Livermore. So I'm guessing he's just being lazy and doesn't want to come drive out here and show her homes.
Yeah.
So how do you go about that?
You just have that conversation with them, but like, hey, listen, you know, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I want to make sure that you understand exactly what we do and how we get compensated. Everything that we do as real estate agents is 100% complimentary. You know, we're going to negotiate, we're going to do the research, we're going to work our asses off for you, so on and so forth. But with that being said, when I work with a client, that's my client. Because what I'd hate to do is go and show you 20 homes, and then you have a friend in Livermore that goes and writes that offer for you, and then that's wasted time on my behalf. So moving forward, I want to give you the choice. You can work with your friend or you can work with me, but I can't show you homes anymore if you are going to go back and write with them. You just have to put your foot down. That's it.
Okay.
And it's okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Because
Listen, you got to be willing to walk away from this to save yourself and protect your own energy.
yeah, I know. And I mean, it's not really my problem because I was just showing the home for them, but I think it's just a learning experience moving forward, you know, and I'm glad I kind of learned that part. I just didn't know what to say. I was like, wait, what do I say right now? You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Listen, you'll be able to, as you grow in this business, be able to put your foot down and have that velvet hammer. And it's totally okay, right? I'll be like, you know what? I'm not the person for you. I wish you all the best, and hopefully that person can help you. But if you were my client, the last thing I'd be doing is having some other agent show you in a different community. I'd be doing it all for you because I was a full service agent, right? So have that conversation with them, keep that real, keep that door open if they ever do choose to come back to you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's go to one last person to wrap it up. Kaleem, I want to go over to you, my man. Takeaways from today's session, and then I want you to lead us off of the field with something inspirational.
I think the biggest takeaway I got from this is that no matter how the market is looking, there's always a way you can get into it. You just got to look at it on the bright side of things.
Love that. I love that. I love it. You guys, take action today. I looked the other day, and for the month of December, obviously we're only yesterday when I looked 7 days in, I only had 36 people total that were logging on Sisu. You guys, everything needs to be put on Sisu, and this is not for us. This is for you guys to be able to get better, to track, to measure. But how can you get better and improve if you're not tracking and measuring? So you guys, I want to implore you, I want to push you, I want to challenge you guys to make sure that you guys are tracking in Sisu and doing that every day. Action, you guys. Make sure that you guys are moving forward, that you're taking action. Who is the one person today that needs to hear from you, that you need to connect with? Kim Lou, I'll call you. I have a quick meeting with Ben, but I will call you directly after that, and me, you, and Julian can hop on a phone call. You guys, with immense levels of gratitude, I appreciate you guys more than you know. Love you guys. I'm here for you. If you need some one-on-one support, if you need some help, if you need anything, make sure to connect with you. I'll give you my Calendly link, and you can reserve a time to connect with me one-on-one. But peace. Have a wonderful day. Go and win today. That's all I'm asking for. Peace. Have a great day. Ben, let's stay on.